Hi everyone. Today I want to make some homemade mozzarella cheese. Now, if you've watched my videos, you know that I was a dairy farmer and there were times when I had extra milk that I had to use. I'm not a dairy farmer now and I still drink a lot of milk, but sometimes I just don't. And this is the case this week. So I have an extra gallon of milk and I need to use it up. So I want to make some homemade mozzarella cheese because from my garden I just made the last of the tomato sauce from the garden, and I'm going to make some homemade pizza dough and make a pizza. So I'm from the East Coast. We call that an ah-beetz, and we call mozzarella. Many people say it differently. We call it the mozz. So you need a gallon of milk in a clean pan, and once again, it's very important to sanitize what you're using, especially when you're using milk. If you're making canned butter, cheeses, yogurts, whatever. So I wash everything down, I sterilize it, and I wash my counters and my stoves down with alcohol. So this is quick mozzarella. You can make mozzarella that you just need milk, some rennet, some salt, and some thyme. I'm making quick mozzarella, so I am going to be using some citric acid, some calcium chloride, some rennet, some lipase, some cheese salt, milk, and you're going to need thermometer, a colander with some cheesecloth, and a bowl of ice water. So let's get started. Here I have 1 gallon of milk. I cover it to make sure that the dust, nothing else is getting in there. And I'm going to start the heating process. I usually do this around 4 or 5 on electric. Medium heat, I would say. And I want to bring the milk to a temperature of 55 degrees or 13 degrees Celsius. So I have reached the temperature and I have added the calcium chloride. Now, the reason why I'm adding calcium chloride is because my milk is pasteurized, number one, and number two, it makes a firmer curd. So when I don't add it, it can get kind of sticky sometimes on my cheesecloth, and I really don't want a mess. I want a quick mozzarella with not a lot of mess. So I will continue the heating process now. As my milk continues to heat, I'm going to add the citric acid. Give it a quick stir. I'm going to add the lipase. The lipase, I let it sit for like 20 minutes because it needs to dissolve. And I wanted to show you, we're already seeing some curds forming. I'm going to stir well, make sure it's all incorporated until I reach my target temperature. The next target temperature is 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 33 degrees Celsius. So we can already see the curds are starting to form, and we're waiting for our temperature to get to 90 degrees. So far, we have put in 1.5 teaspoons of citric acid mixed with 1/2 cup of non-chlorinated water. We don't want to use chlorine because it does stop the curds from forming. 1/2 teaspoon of liquid rennet is what we're going to add next, and I also have added 1/8 teaspoon of lipase with 1/4 cup of non-chlorinated water. 1/4 teaspoon of calcium chloride was added in the very beginning to keep the curds nice and firm, and it was diluted with 1/4 cup of water as well. So you can see the description box for everything and the order that it was put in. 90, we're a little over. So we're going to take this off, add our rennet. Okay, so I've added the rennet. Once you add the rennet, the curds, and the whey begin to separate. So I am going to stir this from bottom to top for 1 minute. I have taken it off of the heat just for the 1 minute. I'm going to shut the heat off, put the cover on, and let it rest. Let the curds rest for 5 minutes. And our 5 minutes is up. So I want to check and see what it looks like. And I do have a clean break. So I'm going to put it back on the heat and let's get back to cooking. So our next temperature that we want to reach is 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 33 degrees Celsius. And while this is heating up, I just want to check my curds. Yeah. So I'm going to kind of cut them along. Sometimes when you make mozzarella, it just instantly separates the curds in the whey. And sometimes you have to give it a little bit of help. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to cut the curds. The heat is back on. There you have it. I'm going to put the cover back on because I don't want anything falling into it. And we need to reach our next temperature. The next temperature is 102 degrees Fahrenheit or 3940 degrees Celsius. Now, when I was checking the curds, if I did not have a clean break, I would just let it sit another 5 minutes. You can see that the curds are shrinking. And we need to be at 104. So we're going to check it again, and you can see that the curds are definitely separating, shrinking exactly as we want them to. And I am going to turn this heat up higher. So I have filled a bowl with some ice and a little bit of water. And I have a bowl over here with cheesecloth in it, with a steel colander in it to catch the whey. And that's next. And I didn't say this in the beginning, but I also have a big Pyrex cup here because when I stretch my cheese, I want it hot, and I'm going to put it in the microwave. So we have reached our target temperature of 104 degrees, and now I'm going to drain the whey from the curds. Look at how beautiful these curds are. They're absolutely beautiful. Now, most times I would probably dump the whey down the sink, but I'm not. I saved it in a bowl because I want to make some ricotta cheese, which comes from the whey of mozzarella, or it's known in the store as ricotta. So I'm just going to start pressing this out. With mozzarella cheese, you just let it drip. Nothing fancy. Just squeeze as much out as you can. And so this is it. I'm just going to keep squeezing it over my bowl. Until most of the whey is out. So here it is. Here's my bowl. I'm just going to keep dumping out some of the whey. which is hard to do one-handed. Just got a new case on my phone, so I can't take it off very easy. So there it is. I've kneaded it, and I put it in the microwave for 35 seconds to get more of the way out, just to keep it heated up. The heat is what makes it form a solid ball. You see how it's chunky still? Yep, we want a solid ball. We want all the way out. And it's nice and solid. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm going to put it in the microwave one more time. So I've added 1 teaspoon of cheese salt. And the purpose is not to knead this like bread because it's cheese. I just want to mix in the salt, make sure all the way is out. And that's what we have. So here's our beautiful homemade mozzarella. You can see it is shiny. I've taken it out of the microwave. It is stretchy and hot, very hot, and it's cooling down. And so it's wonderful. Now, if you want to eat fresh mozzarella, it's absolutely good. It will be a little bit salty at first. And if you can wait 24 hours, like I'm going to do, the lipase that we put in, the enzyme will kick in. Oh, and this will be delicious. So here's what we get from a gallon of milk. Homemade fresh mozzarella, and it didn't take long. I'm going to show you what I do with it next. So next I just squeeze it between my thumb and my forefinger, make little balls, put it right into the ice water. You can put it any way you want, but that's how I like to do it. And I like to serve this, of course with, homemade Italian stuff, but also just with beautiful sliced tomatoes. There's nothing like it. You can, if you want to grate it up, all you have to do is put it in the freezer overnight, and in the morning you can grate it. And of course you can make mozzarella sticks. Now, there are no preservatives in this cheese. I'm telling you that because it will last like a week in your refrigerator. So this cheese is so stretchy. And tomorrow it's going to be even stretchier. So I just wanted to show you the quick way. And the quick way is to use the microwave instead of just heating, keeping away in the pot, which I like is easier for me. So I hope you give it a try because I already tasted it. It's amazing. It's delicious. But if you can wait one more day. So after about 5 minutes, you can take your fresh mozzarella balls and store them in a container. They are still warm. And like I said, they will last in your refrigerator for about a week. And there it is. It is cut lovely. This cheese is highly meltable. And tomorrow, you're going to see just how meltable because I'm making an ah-beetz, a pizza. There really is nothing like your own fresh mozzarella. Give it a try. It takes about 30 minutes. If you have any comments, please leave them below. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned if you're interested in making more cheese, because I like to make cheese during this season. So stay tuned.